Therapy Thursday, every Thursday with 60-second sessions for you. Why? Because, well, it's community service.
Yep.
All right? 888-429-0941 is our number. If you want to text in or you want to call, feel free. Ask a question to Dr. Davi or Meredith MD or Orlando BGYN, plus a lot of other interns and residents that are out there that will text in about your business. No HIPAA here. All right? So who is first?
We have one that just came in. I don't see a name attached to it. We'll let you guys pick. I was having a talk with some of my guys at work about who is the healthiest out of us. I'm a little older, but I work out. I'm a little older, but outlifts my whole crew and works longer. I'm strong, and you can tell that I'm healthy. They think the jury is out because I haven't been to a doctor in about 9 years.
Whoa.
You're a picture of health, buddy.
Isn't the biggest problem running to medicine and doctors so much?
Have fun with that, O. You know exactly what I'm going to say.
Meredith, go ahead. No, 9 years, that's a long time. He didn't pick somebody, so we can all go at it.
Yo, that is insane to not go see the doctor for 10 years.
You know what, though? I will
Especially when
say
you're older.
there are ways that men grow up where it's like you just, cock diesel. You're strong. You country strong. You lift trees. You lift 2x4s, and can't nobody lift a Jeep like Beauregard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you looking healthy.
Yeah.
And until you find a reason to go to the doctor, they don't go. It's just, that's a man thing. And it's not wise because it's not the picture of health. You can have other issues. You can have certain things you're supposed to have at certain levels, like colonoscopies and prostate exams and A1Cs and all of that stuff that comes from the doctor. But in essence, I don't want to make you feel bad for being healthy. If you're healthy enough to go to work, every day and do whatever, but it doesn't sound like you're worried. But again, having that assurance and go out there and don't let them young guys make you feel bad about being old. Keep lifting them motors. Doing what you're doing. All right, what we got next?
Orlando, I have one for you. My household is completely split on what to do with our kids for school. My husband wants them to go to school, and I want them to stay home and do virtual school and stay safe. We can't have this conversation without a massive argument. What should we do? What are you doing?
What am I doing? I mean, probably like the same thing. I'm worried about them, but I've also it's been explained to me. It's not like a sweeping thing. Like, there are people waiting to go back to school now, and it's much different than my kids that have been in the school for 3 weeks, but they're in a smaller setting. They're in a private school. Their rules are different than the others. So I've had a different kind of weight on me. But I would say you guys need to have a conversation with each other and continue to have that conversation. But we talked about this before. Learn how to argue. You can argue because both of you guys are worried about your kids. So you don't have to undermine each other to be worried. Share that type of worry together. You're saying what you believe for their best interest. We might be on the opposite sides of it, but at least we're here. It shouldn't be a cantankerous thing where we're exploding and fighting with each other and mad and slamming doors. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way because we should both be focused that we're trying to do the right thing by our kids and then just move accordingly. But you stop communication and now you really screwed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You fighting and everything. Now you don't want to talk. So now it's like
one of those things you don't want to talk about, but you got to.
It's just terrible. So I would say, keep the line of communication open. Watch where you're getting your info from. Like, get it from the school. Find out what they do. Don't find out what they say. Because everybody's like, well, they say that's everybody. The school says they're going to do this with our children is much more specific. You guys need to sit down with that information and not what you're getting from the news.
Nice.
That's what I would say.
One came in from Meredith. It's out the 727. It says, I've been with my man off and on, mostly on, for almost 9 years. He has come a very long way as far as our relationship goes. I love him. I want him. But he is horrible when it comes to affection. And we are starting to not have sex, but maybe once a week, if that. He has started to sleep on the couch. He rarely kisses me and never says, I love you first. I do have needs. And other than all these issues, he is all I want. Is lack of affection not worth having the guy that I want in the end?
If you don't mind his girlfriend. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Meredith. Go ahead, girl.
You can work on this. I would say he needs to be reminded quite often, maybe a quarterly talk, a quarterly reminder, just to be like, hey, I love you, but this is one of my love languages. This is extremely important, not only to me, but our relationship to keep this moving. If we're going to have sex once a week right now, what is it going to be in a year? Are we not going to have sex until like once a month? You got to keep up the love a little bit in a relationship, and that might fall on your shoulders a little bit more because he doesn't find it a huge priority. So you grabbing his hand, maybe you running up to him and pinching his butt, you know, just like those little cute things to remind him, oh, there was a spark here, and then you can bring that back slowly. Hopefully, sitting down with him and reminding him will make him want to do all that stuff.
You got 9 seconds left, so you want to now spend this 9 telling her that he might be cheating?
No, I never once thought he was cheating. You guys think he's cheating?
It's a possibility. What? He's sleeping on the couch. They went from doing it all the time to barely doing it at all. He getting to something.
Oh, it's once a week, though. That's not never.
She said if that. And that's from somebody who they were probably doing
if
it quite often.
If your husband come home and he ain't hungry.
Yeah. Wait, so that automatically means he's cheating?
He has something to eat.
Maybe he's just tired.
Davi.
He has something to eat.
He had something to eat.
Yeah.
People still eat.
Yeah.
Are we serious? I never once went to cheating. You guys automatically think that.
Both of our eyes bucked up when he's like, he on the couch.
Yeah, he on the couch because he smelled like,
Oh, my God.
I gotta take a shower as soon as I get home. Orlando, I have been encountering a very uncomfortable situation at work from senior management. I want to go to HR, but I do not want him to retaliate. I also feel this is holding me back from getting promoted. What should I do?
Ooh.
Man, work is like a relationship. You got to communicate there too. Like, you got to give managers the ability to manage. So if there's any way that you want to go in and tell or something, without getting any any kind of retroactive heat put on yourself, you should have that ability to communicate, maybe without snitching, but being a part of the process. We talked about this before, like going to somebody saying, hey, I think it would be better if we approached it this way. Mm-hmm. Give them a chance to manage. Now, if your direct manager is not speaking to something that's actionable by human resources, then you got to go above. But to go over your manager, to go to corporate or to go to human resources is basically like a money grab. It's like, it's always going to be seen as shady because your manager is the person who has to wear that management hat. They have to be the person to get the call to say, hey, we have to come up with this. This is why. If you let the Indians all do it, it wouldn't be any need for chiefs. So let the chief be a chief, before you go over their head and get somebody fired for something that you could have just said, hey, man, tell that dude to stop stirring the coffee with his finger. Okay, why we got to go to corporate about that? Can I just tell him to get your nasty finger out the pot?
Yeah, and don't think that they're not going to find out you said something, by the way.
They always find out.
Of course.
You're not supposed to, and nobody's supposed to retaliate on you either. That's not a part of it. And, but if you go through the process and a manager doesn't do something about something, then going over their head is something they can't argue about.
I
have. First.
I got one for Davi.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Dr. Davi.
Yes, Dr. Davi, excuse me. I've been dating this frat guy. He was in town from FSU, and he's been pretty cool until now.
Wait, did you say...
From FSU.
You said frat guy?
Frat guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what?
I thought you said fat guy.
No, frat guy.
I was like, how you going to ask Dr. Davi?
He could be a frat guy.
If it was a fat guy, I was going hey, I need an audible. Okay, go ahead, continue.
We used to hang out all the time, but his mom always had some small issue with me. They are a well-to-do family, and I'm just a hippie chick, but very sweet and respectful. But his mother must want him to date someone more highbrow than me because she's meddling in a relationship. How do I deal with this?
So she used to date him, or she's dating him?
It sounds like it's falling apart.
It's gone.
They're dating.
It's done.
She also said he's stopped calling and texting me, and I feel like his mother got into his ear.
No. It might have been his mom. His mom is a small, tiny part of the equation. The real issue is that he's a frat guy from FSU that you met while he was in town. So he lives out of town. He's in a frat at FSU. That's not a real relationship. That was like a long-term fling.
A summer
Let
fling?
it go.
That is
On to
offensive.
it's so accurate.
Fraternity men of Florida State University are scowling at the radio right
you
now.
have everything against you. You have every single thing working against you.
But he said he loved me.
He did it. He's a temporary little fling. He's a fraternity guy who lives out of town. His mom hates you. It's just not going to work. Let it go, little hippie chick, and find another guy. Can we keep it real on Therapy Thursday or what?
Let's say next on this.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
You know,
there's nothing wrong with having a good time and then leaving it behind.
Well, she obviously really liked
It's
him.
gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mama's like, so are we still doing the hippie chick?
Oh, can you imagine?
Can we vote her off the island now?
Oh,
Because,
that's not good.
like the neighbors are talking. Okay. All right. All right. We got text in 888-429-0941. Let's see here.
I got one for you, El.
Go ahead. I was trying to pull up one that came up with your name on it.
Good morning. I have a question. Is it normal to speak to your mother 20 times a day?
Oh, man.
I've told my fiance that that's a little too much, and she says, no, it's not. Who's right, me or her?
Can I pull out? This is my life.
Go ahead.
This is my life.
Take it, Dobby.
I swear I didn't write this. So my girlfriend is exactly that person. Her and her mom are in constant communication. When we first got together, I was like, wow, that is a lot of phone calls, text, FaceTime, all this. But this is what I had to realize. Her mom is the most important person in her life. Yeah. And her mom feels the same way about her. So who am I to tell you how much you can talk to the most important person in your life?
It's still a lot, though.
It's a lot for me, but it's not a lot for her.
Right.
So I have no place to tell her, yo, that's too much. Unless you paying her phone bill, you don't have a right to say, hey, you're talking to your mom too much. It's her mom, bro. You're never going to win that fight.
Yeah, you'll never win that.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Thank you for letting me have that.
most people should be like that to talk to their mom. Like, you don't talk to your mom as much, and you should.
Seeing my girl and her mom's relationship reminds me all the time. It's honestly made my mom and I closer. Because I'm like, yeah, damn, I'm slacking on my mom time.
Yeah, I call my mom and I'm like, she's like, oh, I was just about to call. I'm like, no, you wasn't. Because my mom always like, I'm bothering you. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, she's like, but you at work. I'm like, yeah, but I can talk.
Yeah, but if you flip this, women don't like guys always talking to their moms.
Why?
A mama's boy. I'm telling you.
Oh, if a man,
a lot of women. I'll say a lot of women don't like that.
If a man loves his mama, then you can see how he'll love you.
Right. But if you're calling your mom.
If he cusses out his mama, then he'll cuss you out.
I understand that. But if you're dating a man, because I've been there before many times.
You talking about a mama's boy?
Oh, that's talking to his mom like 20, 30 times a day. It's a little bit different.
I love my mama.
It depends a lot.
You gonna tell me I should not talk to my mama? Did you hear what Dobby just said? You don't.
Different.
It don't change.
And you know what? It depends a lot on what they've been through. Like my mom or like my girl and her mom, that's all they got is like, you know what I'm saying, each other. So I think that has a lot to do with it. If you're raised like, yo, it's us against the world, you're going to want to check in on that person all the time. All the time.
I'm just going to let you know because somebody's out there texting. Their fingers are going right now saying, Dobby, she got you. So I'm like, you ain't even got to click send. We know. I just told her. All right. And I know somebody's going to type that. All right. We got room for one more. What we got?
Meredith, how do you let your spouse know that you are tired of being the pursuer? I'm a 45-year-old alpha male, and I'm tired of being the aggressor. I want and need to feel like I matter and I'm worth the pursuit. How do I tell my wife of 10 years that it's her turn to pursue me?
It should be back and forth. That's what I should say. They shouldn't just have one person always just getting after it constantly because it is so aggravating and exhausting. Because honestly, you look in the mirror at sometimes and it can affect your ego, although with this person doesn't really sound like it is. So yeah, you need to sit down with her and let her know like, hey, I'm hot. I know I'm good looking. I don't understand why you don't want this. Like,
it don't matter.
What do you mean it don't matter?
It so don't matter, man. I went through that and it was like, you can't change a person.
Yeah.
Like, and if it fell off, then maybe it can come back.
Yeah.
But
alcohol can help, maybe. let down some bears.
But at what cost? You know what I'm saying? I've seen it where it's like you're urging, saying, "Yo, like you should be the initiator sometimes, or you should try and show that desire."
Yeah, it should go both ways.
If it ain't in them, it ain't in them. You gotta swallow it and say, "All right, I'm cool with it."
That's the problem.
Yeah,
She won't do that.
not too much swallowing going on. That's the bird of love. Supposed to get some love in this relationship. I don't know. So I was just saying, like, it's hard to make somebody you can't pull them off their square.
Well, you can help. You can help. And if it's really something that's going to be a deal breaker, then that person has to get off their ass and do something about it.
Get up off your ass and get on mine.
Yeah, alphas need love too.
Alpha, yeah. I'm an alpha man.
Yeah.
He said he was good looking and all this stuff.
I've never referred to myself as an
say
alpha
that.
man. Are you an alpha man?
He did not say that.
Oh, maybe it was just in my head.
Yeah.
He said
didn't
alpha,
say he
and I
was
went,
good looking.
No.
You just adding stuff to the thing. That man said, he said he was good looking. Damn, man. Terrible.
Orlando and the Freak Show.